Okay, hi everyone. Oh, let me tell you, what an evening already. I am so sorry for the technical difficulties that we had and we've been experiencing this past half an hour. Nicole and I, we have no idea what happened. None. So there were all sorts of sound issues, and then we couldn't connect. And so this is actually the class tonight, guys. We're having to move it to Facebook Live. And it's not how I would have planned it, not what I expected, not that we were prepared for. It just is what it is, right? So we're going to have to do the class through this route, and I apologize to those of you who have been a little frustrated with us the past half hour. I promise you, this is not the way we wanted it to be. So, as with any class, especially if it's a free class, there are many, many, many people who want to get into it. And we thought we had it figured out on Zoom, how to handle that. And for some reason, Zoom was giving us all sorts of issues tonight, and we were not able to have everyone come on. So Eileen, you are right. She says, hang in there. Flexibility is the 2020 word of the year. And how true is that? Holy cow. So you can't hear me, Deborah says. I hope you can hear me. I have my mic on, and if you need to adjust it on your own computer, Deborah, try that. Can you guys hear me okay? I sure hope so. 2020. Yeah, at least it says 2020. Yes, for sure. No worry. Okay, thanks you guys. I think you guys are hearing me. Yay! All right, crazy, crazy, crazy. I am so sorry. So we're going to do the best we can. It is not how we normally do our classes, because normally our classes have actually 5 different camera angles, and it makes it really nice. But unfortunately, we can't do that tonight. We're going to have to do the Facebook Live theme from my phone, of all things. So bear with me. I'm so excited to be able to have you on our mystery tabletopper class tonight. Now, some of you, Debbie says, I couldn't hear you on the iPad, but I can hear on my phone. Okay, good deal. Some of you, I was reading comments, said that you did not receive the pattern. Please don't worry. If you don't have the pattern, it's okay. We're going to give you the full pattern in its entirety later on this evening. But what was sent out earlier were the cutting instructions. Okay. And so the cutting instructions, as well as a triangle piece of paper, well, a triangle pattern, I should say. And that is going to be what we're using for one of our blocks tonight, which I'm really excited about it. So again, for those of you who are with me tonight, thank you. Thank you for sticking with us. I always like to think about, I try not to take people's comments personally, but it's hard sometimes. And sometimes when you're behind a computer, some will say interesting things. So I guess the question always is it helpful or hurtful? And we would prefer helpful comments. So thank you for those of you who have been so kind and sweet through the technical difficulties earlier. All right, are you ready to get started? I'm excited to get started. So let's go ahead and do that. I am going to turn the camera over to Nicole. Let's go ahead and say hi, Nicole.
Hi guys, sorry. I know you guys could hear some horrible sounds tonight, and we couldn't hear them on our end, and so all we were getting was feedback from you, and well,
it
you
was
saw
the
what
weirdest
happened.
scenes.
We're glad to be with you now, and we hope that this is not the way of the rest of 2020.
Oh, you never know about that, right?
Hey,
so
it's only a month, and then everything's good again, right?
Thank you, Deidre. You're so sweet. She said, my hair looks pretty. That is so sweet of you. All right. So, for those, there are some people who are saying they can't hear. Will somebody write in the comments, because they're not going to hear me say this, but will somebody write in the comments and let them know that they may have to switch to their phone or to a different computer if for some reason they can't hear us, because the sound is working. Just if you can let them know, that would be great. Okay, without further ado, I am going to turn my camera over to Nicole.
And I'm going to flip it around, but you're going to watch me for a moment.
Oh, yay.
Okay.
Hello. Okay, are you guys ready to start sewing? Let's head over. Let's see, should we do it from this angle?
I can move wherever you go.
Let's go over to this angle first.
Okay.
And
Bear with me. We're going to be a little bit bumpy.
This is going to be...
Trying to reconnect. There we go.
Okay, you tell me when.
Hey guys, can you hear it all? Lost signal. I don't know.
Okay, so you can hear me? All right, Mike's saying you can't, but someone is saying they can, so who knows? Are we getting comments?
We got good now.
And we're good
Thanks,
now.
guys. Sorry.
Okay. Woo, this is going to be a long night.
Well, in case that has a short, it's now.
Okay, so
There
we
we go.
good? Okay. All right, so for this table topper, which is a mystery, I'm very tempted to just go ahead and show it to you, but we're going to try and keep the fun as long as we can, right? So you should have received an email with 5 clues for the 5 different fabrics. Now, fabric number 1, you had to choose between if you wanted to go the peppermint route. I wish I had that poem with me.
That's not working.
It's.
This is not working.
Okay.
Is what we're getting here.
But we're getting people saying yes, we can hear you.
They can hear.
Well, we can hear
So,
you clear,
no,
not her.
the peppermint. Okay, we have the peppermint stripe or the white snow. Okay, now of course, if you didn't get that from that clue, it's totally fine. You can use whatever
have another mic?
fabric that you want. Okay, whatever fabric you want. So the first thing we're going to do is from fabric number 1, you're going to actually cut 20 pieces that are 2.5-inch blocks. So here, I've already done that with my 2.5-inch squares. You see that?
Hey guys, we're trying to switch out the mics. It seems like this mic's cord is not working. I am going to get as close to Chris as I can for a little while and
Let's pull that out.
let her go back maybe.
Okay, let's. Oh my heck. Okay, let's try this again. Thank you, Lisa. Lisa says she can see and hear me. Marie says she can hear me. Oh my goodness. Holy cow. Okay, let's try this again. So, deep breath. Okay. Can you grab me this fabric over there? Okay. Clue number 1 is fabric number 1. And with fabric number 1, you guys just want to see how Chris handles this, don't you? Just stay tuned. You're going to see how Chris is going to go berserk in a minute. No, everything's good. Okay. In fact, my mask says, choose happy. That's what I'm doing. Holy cow. Okay. So, number 1, you're going to choose whether you want to go with peppermint or whether you want to go with snow. So, what you need to decide on your fabric is if you want to go the peppermint route, it's going to look a little more Christmassy. If you want to go the snow route, it's going to look more like winter, okay? So it's going to look more like winter. If you have neither a peppermint nor white, it's totally fine, okay? Do not worry. It's this is going to be a cute quilt, a little table topper, regardless of what fabrics you use, okay? All right, you guys are awesome. Okay, so let me show you first what I used when I went the peppermint route. I used this striped fabric. Isn't that fun? All right, so that's the striped fabric I used. But the one that I'm going to show you tonight is I'm going more the winter route. So I have squares of white. And this, I know you can't tell, but it's a white on white snowflake, okay? So the fabric, what I want you to do with fabric number 1 is to cut 20 squares that are 2.5 inches each. Do you see that? 2.5 inches each. Okay, that's what we're going to do. And then what we're going to do is we are going to make them into, well, I'll keep you hanging for just a minute. Let's go ahead and take a look at, no, this is not a paying class, Jane. You don't have to leave. It's all good. This was a free class, and so anyone who is finding us here is just fine because it's not on Zoom tonight, unfortunately. All right, let's take a look at what I want you to do with your 2.5 inch squares. Okay, so I think what you're going to have to do is do it this way because the mic C comes from there. So, and we're going to have to be very careful that we don't show the actual one. Okay, guys, we're rolling with the punches tonight. Let's get up closer. Okay. You know what we could do? No. Do we dare? Yeah. Okay, we're going to try a different mic here real quick. Okay, tell me what tell me if you guys, is it turned on me now? Oh. Okay, how's the sound on this one? We changed the mics out. How's the sound doing? Yay? Nay? So?
We got it good.
Okay, we got it good. All right, let's get sewing. Come on over here.
You hand it, or you want me to stay on the side?
Yeah, let's go ahead right up here. So you're going to get up nice and close. Okay, so the first thing with our 20 squares, and we are just going to do 4 of them right now. I want you to count out 1, 2, pull back a little, 3, and 4. Okay, and we're going to fold them in half with the wrong sides together. I want my right to be on the outside. Now, obviously, you guys can't see the print on print here.
You can kind of see it.
But you can kind of see it, right?
How cute
and
the snowflake is.
So what I want you to do is take all of these and you're just going to fold them in half directly. So these 2.5 inch squares are going to end up being 1 1/4 by 2.5. Okay, so we're just folding these in the middle. And you know, maybe what we'll have to do.
Your shoes.
Oh, you want my shoes? Yes.
Bonuses, we get to do some fashion while we're at it.
That's right. I do have my sewing shoes on tonight. Okay. And what we do is we call this a finger press. And a finger press is I'm basically taking my nail and just holding it in place like that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my right side. This is where the fold is. I'm going to take the top right side and bring it down here and do a little finger press there. Okay. And I'm going to take my left side and do the same thing. Can you guess what I'm making right now? I know you guys have no idea how it's all going to come out, but what did I just make? Especially, yep, wrong sides together, Debbie. Especially if you have been following us the past week on 3 at 3. Can you guess what it is that I just made? Any ideas? Take a look at that. I'm going to, while you're guessing, I'm going to do my other ones. No, you can't do that. You've got to go. Whichever, I know, whichever way we started out is the way you have to keep.
Oh, good to know.
Okay, so I'm pulling the right one down here. Yeah, good job, Sue. Sue said a prairie point. That's exactly what I'm making right now, is a prairie point. So that's what I want you to do with all 20 of your squares. Now for tonight, I'm just going to do one of these, okay? But in order to make one of my blocks, I need 4 prairie points. Yep, not a tree. It's a good guess, but it's not a tree.
Maybe a little foreshadowing.
Ooh, that is maybe a little foreshadowing though. Okay, and one more. So again, I have the 2.5 inch square. I'm going to fold it in half with the wrong sides together and finger press it. Bring my right side down to here and finger press it, and my left side down to the bottom and finger press it. A party hat, Stevie says. Yeah, it looks like a party hat, right? No, we're making prairie points. Okay, so you're going to do that on all of your 2.5 inch squares. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. And then what you'll do is you're going to take fabric number 2 and cut, let's see, 23 inch squares. Now, all of you should have received this on the cutting instructions. If you didn't get those, please do not worry. A pattern will be sent to you later this evening after the mystery is revealed, okay? So these are 3 inch squares. This is fabric number 2. Again, remembering I'm going with more of a winter theme. Okay, there we go. Winter theme here. So with this, I'm going to pull 4 of them out. I need to do 20. I'm going to pull out 4. Yeah, tell them we need a charger. Okay, I'm going to pull 4 of these out. And I'm going to set my other blocks aside. All right. And then what I want you to do, we're going to use prairie points a little bit differently this time. Ooh, Linda thinks it could be a beard. Oh, very exciting. Okay, notice how on one side of my prairie point you have the opening, but on the back side of it, it's just nice and solid. Okay, here we go. So what I want to do is I want the fabric under that is being folded, I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to place it at the bottom of the square. Now, is he coming with that? I know. Okay. Okay, so I've got, okay, go ahead and take over for that. Okay. So we're going to do this on each of our squares. And again, I don't want the flaps to be on top. I want the flaps to be on the bottom. Okay, flap on bottom. The raw edges are just lined up with the right side of the square. Also notice that my point of my prairie point is touching the bottom right hand corner of the square. Okay, I don't want you to center it. Do not center it. You're going to place it right here at the bottom. Okay, you will have a little more space up there. That's what you want. Okay, and then no, I'm not centering, so don't center. Okay, and I'm going to do it right here. So on all 4 of those. Now, what's going to happen is that what I want you to do is I want you to sew these little pinwheels right into the block. Okay. Now, if for some reason, let me show you something here. Do you see how it's kind of a little ski-wampus? My fabric went a little ski-wampus. I could probably correct that a little bit with some better pressing. But what I'm going to do, because it's totally okay to do this, I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to trim that up along the bottom. Okay. There we go. So now it's much more straight. So again, it's going to go here. Now let's head over to the sewing machine. Okay, and What are we doing here? Okay. We're going to head over to the sewing machine. And I have my seam allowance, Mike, set to be at 1/8 of an inch. I'm using the 9450 tonight. And I'm using the 1/4 inch foot, and in the hole is 1/8 of an inch. So if you don't have a foot like that, that's totally fine. Stay in place, okay? And there we go. I'm gonna cut my threads. Do you see how that is just stitched right there in place? Okay. So now I'm gonna take my other pieces and do the same thing. In fact, what I'll do, I'm gonna do what's called chain piecing.
I'm not singing chain, chain, chain.
You're not gonna sing chain, chain, chain? Oh, Nicole, I need those scissors real quick.
Everybody would leave.
If you've taken classes from me before, guys, you know, what am I about to sing? Chain, chain, chain. Chain of fools. Okay, I'll do that one afterwards. Okay, so I got a prairie point here. I'm going to place it. Again, the tip of it is at the bottom of the square. And just put it on my machine. I'm going to keep it there in place and go to the next one. Again. Now, you could certainly press these. I probably should have pressed them with an iron too. But I can do that later on.
That makes it more of a mystery.
There you go. What in the heck is Chris making, right? Remember, I don't want the flaps on top. I want them on the bottom. So I'm going to turn this over. And again, place it along the side. Not centering it. It's just touching down here. There's a lot more space up here.
Yes, it can. My dog howls when I sing.
What did she say?
She was saying it couldn't be as bad as hers.
Oh.
My dog sings along with me. It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. And then we have the final one. Okay, and that one looks pretty good. I don't have any stragglers hanging down there. Okay, so a point down here. And there we go. Do you see how the point is coming out here? My raw edges are lined up here. And there we go. Yes, and Susan, we are going to do all 20 blocks this way. Okay, I'm going to cut my threads and cut this apart. And you know what I'm going to also do? Let's go over to the ironing station. We got this, and I'm going to give these a nice good press. Okay, now had I been more careful, I would have made sure that came to an exact point. So what I'm gonna, it's a little bit too flat across. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play with this. I'm just going to kind of maneuver my fingers there to get the point, and then I'm gonna give it another press. Okay, so we can do a little bit of fudging if we need to. Now look at that. You've got a nice point. Okay. And one more. All right. Okay, let's come back over here to the cutting station then. Let me give that a real quick press as well. Let's see. Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to do this.
I don't know how to do that.
What?
Is it charging?
I have no idea. Okay, so what I want you to do is do this to all 20. You have 20 of your fabric number 1, and you have 20 of your fabric number 2. But I want you to do this to all of them.
They wanted to see how you lined it up a little bit closer.
Oh, okay. Yep. So you see that there's, I'm just going to.
And they wanted my pretty princess Band-Aid.
Yeah, there you go. Pretty princess Band-Aid. So cute. Yeah. The corner really should be right here. It points out to here, and you see you have a lot of extra space there. Okay. Again, these squares, fabric number 2, are 3-inch squares. Fabric number 1 are 2.5 inch squares.
And they're sewing 1/8 of an inch or 1/4?
We're sewing 1/8 of an inch. We're just sewing it in to hold it in place. We'll do our 1/4 inch in a minute, but we want to keep it held in place.
It's
okay?
on the right side of the square.
And actually, it doesn't matter if it's right, bottom, or left because all of these squares are the same. This next step is going to depend on how it all comes together. Okay, so, oh, do I dare tell you what this is going to be? This is so fun. Okay, guys, this is what's going to happen.
Oh, no.
What's that? It will make a cute pinwheel. Yes, Karen, you are right. We're going to do a pinwheel tonight. A 3-dimensional pinwheel. And so you got to, it's like putting together a puzzle. Like, no, that doesn't work. Aha, that's what works. So when you put them together, you've got to kind of play with it and go, no, does that, no, 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 nope, nope, nope. There we go. So play with the pinwheel. This is a dimensional pinwheel. Have you ever made these before? They are so fun to make. Now, they definitely add a lot more bulk to your project, but the results are so stinking cute, okay? Kathy says, interesting. All right. Okay, guys, so now what we'll do is we're going to make this into a 4-patch. Okay. Yay! Some of you have made baby quilts with this technique. Awesome. Okay. So I have, to make a 4-patch, we're going to sew this block to this one and this one to this one, and then we'll bring them together. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on top, right sides together, and now is when I'll sew my 1/4 inch. Do you see why it was important to sew just 1/8 of an inch earlier? Because I just needed it to be held in place. Now that it's held in place, I can now go back. I'm going to make this into a 4-patch, just like that. Sew a 1/4 inch all the way down. Do the same thing on this side. So let's head over to the machine again and do that. Okay, my machine is set up at 1/8 of an inch, so I got to switch it real quick. Okay, there we go. Now I have my 1/4 inch. Okay, and then I'm going to take the next 2 pieces right here, and I'm going to place them on top of each other. Just like that. Mike, that pen needs water. Okay. All right, and now we're going to sew this one. Again, like I said, it does add a little more bulk, but it's totally fine. This is going to work. Okay, and cutting my threads. All right, let's come back
They
over
want to
here.
know about if they have the stripe, do they need to worry about their direction?
No, that's a great question. If you are using the stripe, you do not need to worry about the direction. Okay, it's all good. Okay, so now let's open this up, and we're going to treat this just like if we were doing a 4-patch, right? Don't get confused because there's pinwheels here. The one thing you do have to make sure of, though, is that, remember that opening? We want it going in the direction which faces down. So with the opening like that, I can face it down. I'm going to actually press to the opposite side of that. Okay, I'll do a finger press for right now. And I'll open up this one. And let's take a look at this. That's going to go there. And so this is my opening. I'm going to make sure it goes that way, so my seam goes the opposite direction. This will just make more sense to you as you sew it, because it will naturally fall in that direction. But you definitely want your top to go one direction and your bottom to go the opposite direction. Now, why is that important? Well, so we can nest our seams. So we're going to bring the top 2 squares down to the bottom 2 squares simply by taking right sides together and I'm going to butt up my seams here. And yes, like I said, it's bulky, but you've got your seams nesting in right next to each other. It's like this gentle hug that's happening. And then we can go from there, okay? So let me just audition a little bit, make sure, yep, that's exactly where I want it to go. Okay, so I could pin it if I wanted to, but I'm not going to pin it. I'm actually just going to hold it with my hand, with my fingers, and bring it over to the sewing machine and now sew across there. All right. Okay, again with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'll put my presser foot down. Oh, bobbin thread. Haha. Yay. Okay, well, let's see. Oh, I've got enough bobbin thread to last me a little bit. I'll do this and while Mike gets me another bobbin. How's that? There we go. Let's see if I can push my limit a little bit here. Are any of you like that where you're like, no, I'm still going with that bobbin. I am going as long as I possibly can with that bobbin, right? Yeah. Okay, let me pull it out. It's almost like Christmas. Oh, yay. There we go. Look how cute that is. Okay, so Mike's going to do that. I'm going to come over here and give it a nice good press. Now, again, this is bulky in the middle. And so what I would do is I would use some steam here. Okay. No, you're fine. So use some steam. Kim JT says she always stretches out the bobbin. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Always pushing our bobbins to the limits. I know.
You're a bobbin chicken.
Bobbin chickens, Dawn says. Look how fun that is. Yay. That's our first block, you guys. So see how dimensional that is? Isn't that fun? All right, let's head over to the cutting station and let me tell you what's next. And there's a really good reason why I chose, when I designed this, I wanted you to cut 3-inch squares. Now, and I'll tell you what it is. We are actually going to trim this up. We're going to trim it up to be 4.5 inches. Okay, 4.5 inch block. Well, normally, if I were doing a 4.5 inch block, a 4 patch, I would have done 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. And together, it would end up being the 4.5 inch block, right? Well, I had you cut it bigger on purpose because there's a lot going on in this block, and you can see that it's not perfectly square. Not yet, at least. So that's why I like to sometimes cut a little bit larger and then square it up. So what we're going to do is we're going to square these blocks up to be 4.5 inches. So there's lots of different ways to square up blocks, but this is the one I have found to be probably the most straightforward when it comes to a 4 patch. Notice I have a seam right here down the middle and a seam over here. Okay? And so with my ruler, I know this is the center. If I need it to be 4.5 inches, what am I going to have from the center? It's going to be 2.25 inches because 2.25 and 2.25 is 4.5. So I'm going to go 2.25 and I'm going to use my seam as my guide. Now, let me also explain. There's a lot of bulk there. This ruler is not going to lay flat. Okay, never fear. I want to give you some suggestions on what to do about this. Okay, first of all, I'm going 1, 2.25. So I'm moving my 1/4 inch to be on top of that seam. So 2.25. Now I know it's going to be perfect on that side. Now, because it wobbles, what I want you to do is I want you to push towards the right side. Okay, see how it wobbles like that? You're going to make sure this is even. You do not want to cut it with this in the air. You want this to be down as flat as you can. So set it up on the 2.25 inch line and then you're going to push it down. Okay, So let's do that. Oh, let me tell you one more thing. You'll also notice that if you did it correctly, you will have a 1/4 inch beyond the point. Let's take a look. 1, 2 1/4. It's on the center line. Yep, I have an approximate 1/4 inch right there. Good. I want that extra 1/4 inch. Be very careful as you cut too. I want that extra 1/4 inch because then when I sew it to the next block, now I'll have a perfect point there. Okay, so now I'm going to rotate it this way, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I have a center seam to go from. I'm going to do 2 1/4. So you kind of have to look through your ruler and remember how it wobbles. So I'm going to push down on this side so that it's nice and even. Let's see, let me try that. Yeah.
You had a question about whether the orange pop-up ruler would work or not.
Yes, the orange pop-up ruler would work actually really well, I think. Because if I remember correctly, the orange pop-up ruler does trim to 4.5 inch blocks. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure you can. And that would be amazing. That would be amazing. Because then the nice thing about the orange pop rulers is you have an opening. It's like a window. It's pretty awesome. Okay, and I'm going to do one more. 2 1/4. Oh, did I already do that side? Let's see. There's a side I didn't do. No, this side? Okay. 2 1/4. Oh, there we go. Yep, I didn't do that side. Let me try and get that. 2 1/4, and I'm on there. So as long as you have at least a 1/4 inch, you can have even a little bit more if you want. That's okay too, because these are going to be something in the air. I almost told you the secret. Okay. What's that? Okay. All right. So this is standing pinwheel inside the block. This is a freestanding pinwheel inside the block. Any questions on that? Gail said snowflakes. Oh, if you guess snowflakes, you are right. This is going to be snowflakes. But what do we call it if we have peppermint? Peppermint snowflakes? I guess you could. But I have a different name for it, which you'll see in a minute. Okay? Alrighty. So here we go. We're going to, on this one, I'm doing a winter theme for my sample. I'll show you the Christmas theme when we're all done. But this is what it should be. And what I want you to do is you're going to make 5 of these blocks. We won't do them together right now. But again, 5 blocks is what we're going to make tonight. Okay? Of these blocks. If you think about it, that makes perfect sense, right? Peppermint twist, Beth said. You're right, Beth. A peppermint twist. So if you think about it, we cut 20 of these, and there's 4 in each block, so 4 times 5 is 20, right? We cut 20 of these ones, and 4 times 5 is 20. Pepper flakes. So, pepper flakes. Sparkle mints. Oh, I love your guys' answers. These are so fun. Okay, so that is the first step for this mystery, is that you need to complete 5 of these blocks. All right, we're going to move on. Again, I am so sorry that our Zoom classroom did not turn out tonight. We had everything set up and ready to go, and Zoom just decided they didn't want to play nice tonight, did they?
No, not at all.
Oh, Kathy says, you're killing me, Chris. I can't wait to see this. You are so sweet, Kathy. Do the twist. Do the twist. Do. Okay, now, fabric number 3. Fabric number 3. In the email, my teaser was that you could go with shades of gray or shades of blue, right? Shades of gray or shades of blue. And that those shades, those 2 shades, were going to be your backgrounds. So we already have seen the first background. Where did I put that block? Okay, that's weird. Where did that go, Nicole?
It's a mystery now. We don't even.
It's a mystery. Oh, where did my block go? Oh my gosh, that is the weirdest thing.
We're doing magic tricks here.
I don't know. Oh, here we go. There we go. Ta-da. So this was fabric 2, and it's a shade of, it's kind of a grayish blue, right? So with my wintry theme that I'm doing now, I'm going to use this as my fabric 3. So this is fabric 1, fabric 2, now fabric 3. That's what I'm going to use. I fell in love with this fabric because if you take a close look at it, it almost looks like a batik, but it's not actually a batik, but it almost looks like snow flurries, which would make total sense, right? So with fabric 3, what we're going to do, what's that? What are we laughing about? We broke Zoom. We did. Darn it.
We Zoom can't give a error 504.
That's right. Oh, I tell you, there's days I just go, I just want to just throw my arms up in the air. But you know what? It's all good. It's okay. Okay, so with fabric number 3, what the directions told you to do was you needed to cut 8 4-inch by 6-inch rectangles. So I'm going to do that right now. Let's see. I'm going to do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. All right. This is with my fat quarter number 3. And I'm going to do that twice because I am going to need more. 1, 2, 3, 4.
We are a force to be reckoned with.
What's we are? Oh,
Yeah.
gal. Crazy train. That's what we are tonight, right, Nicole? Oh my.
Gonna say, you never thought your girlfriends could be this scary, but we broke Zoom.
All right. And I'm going to cut this to be 6 inches. So these are 4 by 6 inch pieces. And
Do we have this fabric in our store?
we do. We have this fabric.
What's it
Yes. Oh, that's a good question. Let's see. What is it called? I don't know. I don't remember. I'd have to go find the bolt, which I can do that before class is over. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 5 and 6. And I'm going to have to put this on here.
Thanks, Tony. She just said, just think, we all stayed.
I know. That makes me so happy. Thank you for staying, you guys. Oh, let's see. 4 inches by 6. Cut one more.
Yes, we plan on keeping it on Facebook, guys.
Yes, tonight's class will be on
And
Facebook.
so they can watch it.
Oh, yes, you can watch it anytime. And we will keep it on Facebook. Yep. Okay, 6. All right. So we've got 4 by 6. Okay. So we needed 8 of those. So I have that. And then we also need 4 pieces that are 1.5. 1 3/4 by 5 1/4.
Deborah,
Okay, I'm
it's
gonna-
a 4.5 by 4.5, I believe, on this pinwheel block when it's squared up.
Yes, 4.5 by 4.5 is the pinwheel block when it's all squared up. Okay, so now I need 1 3/4, I should say. 1 3/4 by 5 1/4 inch pieces. And I just need 4 of those. So I can get that out of just this one cut. And I do trim off my selvages, so make sure you do that. Okay? All right. So we're going to do 5 and, what did I say? 1/4. 5 1/4. If it's 5 1/2, it's totally fine. Do not get hung up on this. Okay, 5 1/4. And we need 4 of those pieces. So, whew, just barely. 5 1/4, yeah, so it really should be 5 1/4. Unless you want to cut another strip, which you have enough fabric to do that. Okay, so with fabric,
How about my oopsies?
that's your oopsies. So here are 8 4 by 6 inch rectangles and 4 1.5 by 22 inch strips. Okay, that was fabric number 3. That's what you need. That was one of your backgrounds. Now, fabric 4, I gave you a little teaser in the poem that it was going to be for trees. So I'm guessing you probably would have chosen green. At least that's my hope. But you know what? It's all good. You don't have to, right? Maybe it's snowy. It doesn't matter. That's right. So we're going to cut out of fabric number 4. I want you to cut 4 5-inch squares. So I'll do that right now. And we will have some fabric left over. And guess what? I don't like to waste fabric. I know you don't like to waste fabric. And so what's...
Yes. Tell Sue that when we do a class, we do give you the instructions, and we do read from them and often point out where we're at in the instructions. She just wants to know that that's how we do classes.
Oh, yes. This tonight is totally different. Unfortunately, that we can't get in all of our great camera angles that we normally do. And because this was a mystery, we did not give you the pattern beforehand, which was all part of the fun. Okay, now I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Oh, I don't like to waste fabric. So guess what? The rest of your fat quarter you're going to be able to use for your backing. So we're going to make a scrappy backing, and anything that's left over from the fat quarters will go towards your back. There you go. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So fabric number 4 is going to be 5-inch squares. So we should have, for the next block, we should have fabrics number 3 and fabric number 4. All right. So what are we going to do? I'm so excited because some of you probably want to kill me because you don't like doing this, but I'm going to make you love it. All right, hold on. Anyone guess what we're doing? We are doing...
Guess without that. Just kidding.
We're doing paper piecing, folks. Paper piecing. Woohoo! Okay, now, let me explain something here. Very important. First of all, we had sent this out to you earlier and told you to make 4 copies. If you made your copies, perfect, but make sure that they measure from the dotted line 4.5 to be 4.5. 4.5, 4.5, 4.5, 4.5. Okay? If for some reason yours didn't, then you may not have said to, notified your printer that you want it to print at 100%. If we say fit to page or, there's several different options there, then it might not come out the right size. If you do 100%, then it should come out at 4.5 by 4.5. Okay. Now, the next thing I want to make note of is I decided to go against having the oh my goodness, the trunk. Thank you, Nicole. I decided against the trunk tonight because I'm going to do a different way of doing the trunk. So when you see the trunk, just ignore the trunk, okay? Unless you really do want to paper piece the trunk. That's fine. But tonight we're going to paper piece these really cute trees. So let me show you how easy and how much fun it is to do. Do we have any complainers yet on paper piecing? Anyone who's going to be a rebel?
No, somebody's telling you you're in trouble for using your rotary cutter on paper.
Oh, I knew that was going to happen too. I know. I didn't have my paper scissors nearby, so you guys really didn't just see that me use my rotary cutter, but it's all good.
So now your kids get one free pass?
Your kids get one free pass. That's right. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do tonight, how many of you love to paper piece? Tell us in the comments. Do you love paper piecing? Do you hate paper piecing? Do you have, or you just go, whatever, Chris. I guess I'm going to have to do it. Loves and likes. Okay. This is going to be piece number 1. This is going to be piece number 2 and 3 and 4. All right? So let's get started. One of the first tips that I have when it comes to paper piecing is I love nothing other than a glue stick. This is just an Elmer's glue stick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over to the back and place a little piece of glue. Whoa, that's quite the glue stick. I think that's where my iron
Your
was,
iron
wasn't
painted,
it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to get just a little dab. I can actually, I don't know if you can see through, but I can see through where my piece needs to be here, okay? So I just give it a little bit of dab, okay, on there to hold my first piece in place. And the first piece is going to be this one right here. It's the, what was this? 1 3/4 by 5 1/4 inch piece. Now, this is the, when it comes to paper piecing, we are going to have the right side facing up just on piece number 1. So I'll place it down like this. Yes, you see a little bit of the glue coming through it. It's fine because it's going to disappear. And I'll hold it up to the light, making sure that my piece covers plenty of area right here, okay? I want to make sure that it extends beyond my 1/4 inch outside line. So that piece needs to come and clear all the way there. We are going to piece, all the fabric is going to be on the back. However, when we go to sew it, we're going to actually sew from the front. Okay, so I have my first piece down. What's piece number 2? It's going to be the tree. So what I'm going to do here is I need to figure out, where do I place that tree exactly? And my little answer to that is that we need to fold the tree on that line. I'm going to just take a business card of mine and put it directly on that line and fold it back on top of itself. Okay, and then I'll trim this to be a 1/4 inch beyond. You can see I was a little funky when I put that on, but it totally works. Okay, oh, that's because it came off. Ah, there we go. I might need to put just a dab more glue. If you don't have a glue stick, you certainly can do a pin. A straight pin works great too. Okay, so I folded it back on itself, and you know what? I feel pretty good about that 1/4 inch, but I'll just do something to double check on this. I love this little product. It's called Add a Quarter. If you've been in some of our classes before, you've seen that I use it quite often. It has a little lip to the edge, which is a 1/4 inch. So what I'm going to do, that little lip is so nice because it rides. Do you see how it just goes right on that fold? And it just rides right along here. And now I can trim it to be exactly a 1/4 inch beyond. Okay, now I know where to place my next piece. So I'll flip it back around on top of itself, and now I'm going to take one of my 5-inch squares, the tree, and I'm going to put it right side down on top of it. Okay, do you see that? Right side down, just like we normally would when we sew. All right, so with that being done, I'm going to just place a little pin in there to hold it in place while I take it to the sewing machine. Make sure it's out of the way of the seam. And now I'm going to come over and stitch directly on the line that I just folded. All right, let's come over to the machine. The other thing I want to make sure that you remember to do when stitching this is that you want to decrease your stitch size. So let's go over here, Nicole, and on my machine, I'm going to take it down to a 1.8 or 1.6, anywhere between there. What you want is a shorter stitch length, and the reason for that is because when we pull off the paper, we don't want to pop our stitches. All right, I didn't change the thread, Lori. It's all the same, so I've kept with the white, and the stitch is the same. Yep. But what I'm also going to do is I'm going to make sure and use my reinforcement stitch right here, which means that the needle is going to go up and down in the same position several times, okay, as I stitch 1, 2, 3, and now I can finish stitching. And do my reinforcement stitch, 1, 2, 3, okay, and I'm going to cut my threads. Now, one of the reasons why you want to do back stitching or a reinforcement stitch is so that, again, when you go to tear off the paper, it's not going to pop your stitches. So now if you look here, I can flip this out. Ooh, I got really close there. And I'm going to press just like that.
Do you want to know what length of stitch?
Length of stitch would be like a 1.6 or a 1.8. You just want it tighter than a normal stitch. All right. Okay, so that looks kind of funky right now, but I know that I need to add on parts 3 and 4. I'm going to be adding on parts 3 and 4. So how do I know where to stitch it? How do I know where to place my next piece of fabric, right? That's always the question. I don't know where to go. Well, this is how you know. You're going to flip it over again so that you see your pattern. I like to tell people that I like to think of my pattern as a road map. It's my road map of exactly how am I going to get to the next step. So again, I'm going to just take my little business card here. So a piece of cardstock, anything that you have handy that has a straight edge, and even like, let me see if this one has it on. Oh yeah, we also have the add a quarter plus. This is nice too. Let me show you this for those of you who might have this or might be interested in one of these. If you get an add a quarter plus, it not only has the lip on one side, but this kind of tapers off. So this acts as your straight edge to place on top of the line between numbers 2 and 3. I'm going to place it right here. And I'm going to fold it on top of itself, okay? Let's pull that back a little. There we go. And now I have a straight edge that way. So either way, if you've got one of these, that really comes in handy. It comes across and then down at an angle, at a taper. So that's really nice to use, or you can use something like this, okay? I'm going to fold that. And then I need to cut a 1/4 inch beyond that. So with that in place, I'm going to take my add a quarter ruler and place it right there along the fold. Okay. And with my rotary cutter, I will trim this up. Be very, very careful, you guys. Take it nice, slow, and steady. The last thing we want to do is hurt ourselves, right? And I think most of us have probably done that at one time or another, but we definitely want to be careful with our rotary cutters. And then I open it up.
Yeah, guys, it's the add a quarter ruler. There's several sizes of them on our website, I believe.
Yeah, this is the add a quarter ruler.
There's a bundle too that has both in, I think.
This is the design with the 1/4 inch lip. This is the add a quarter plus ruler that has not only the lip, but also the tapered edge, which I really love. Okay, so all of those are on our website. Okay, so now I know exactly where to place my next piece. So I'm going to take one of my background pieces. This was fabric number 3. And I'm going to place it, again, right side down, centering it right there along that edge. Now, I could place a pin in it if I wanted to, but I feel pretty comfortable just holding it and taking it to my sewing machine. So that's what I'm going to do now. Let's head over and see how I'm just flipping this over like that. And now I'm going to sew on this line. Remember, it's just the line that we just folded back. I'm doing my reinforcement stitch. And now I'm going to continue stitching. And my reinforcement stitch. Whoops, I did the back stitch on accident. Back stitch works too. Okay, so you can see that. That's all been stitched. Let's head back over here because I want to show you another really great tool that I love to use. We've talked about this oftentimes. Sorry, I had my alarm go off on my phone. That was a little scary. Leave myself. Okay. Good times. Okay, let's try this again. So, what I'm using is the fabric folding pin from Clover. Love, love, love it. Basically, what it is that it is a pin. Can you grab me the package there? It's a pin that has a vial in it for some water and a little piece of solution in it, or little piece, some drops of solution. This is the solution. It's like a liquid softener, okay? And here we go. So let's see, what is, Kim JT says, I cannot work without the fabric folding pin when paper piecing. Oh yeah, I totally agree. Sorry guys, I froze for a minute. My alarm went off and I had to turn it off, so that's why it froze. Lucky us tonight. Okay, so basically what you do is this comes, this unscrews like that. You fill it with some water that goes up to there. Add a few drops of your solution to it, twist it back on, and now you have like a little brush right here. So rather than taking it to my iron, what I'll do instead is I'll just run this little, oops, I squeezed too hard there. Not a big deal. I'm just going to run that solution along the seam, and look how nice that actually presses out. Love the fabric folding pen. Now this will just evaporate, so it's not going to ruin your fabric or anything. It just will evaporate, okay? So with that being done, now I have one more side to put on, okay? So how do I know where to put it? I'm going to simply fold this or turn this over, and I have to now put on number 4, the number 4 piece, okay? So with that, let's see, where did my little, oh, here we go. Well, I'll use my tapered edge for this one. I'm going to place the tapered edge on that line and fold it back on top of itself again, okay? And then I'm going to, now that I have it folded back on top of itself, I can pull it out. I'll turn it around, and look at that. I have a perfect 1/4 inch edge. See how I'm just, it's just riding right along there. And I'll take my rotary cutter and cut. Okay, now I know exactly where to put my last piece. Woohoo! You guys, it just doesn't get any simpler, right? So here we go. I'm going to place this with right side down. I'll hold it, flip it over, and I'm going to stitch along that edge. Let's go over to the sewing machine. So I'm right here, and I'm going to flip it. Right, yep, flip it, there we go. And I'm going to do a reinforcement stitch at the beginning. And stitch. Whoops, there we go. And a reinforcement stitch. Cutting. All right, there we go. And now that flips out. Let's take a look over here. And, oh. There we go. And with my fabric folding pen, I'm just going to run it right along here. It's very easy to do. And then give it a finger press. I love it. If I'm doing a lot of the paper piecing, I just love, especially if those of you who machine embroider, especially.
Do you sew on the solid line or the dotted line?
Okay, I'll talk about that in a second. For those of you who do machine embroidery, and if you do like Kimberbell's piece by number designs, oh, this is just amazing. Love, love, love this product. This is called the Clover Fabric Folding Pen, and it is also on our website. Okay, so now look at that, you guys. My tree is just about done, and I'm not going to add my trunk until later, so no worries there. So I know it looks a little ski-wampus. No, okay, so Jamie asked, could you add a trunk? Would it be the first thing to sew? Yes. If you wanted to add a trunk, you could, and it would be the very first thing you sew. And then you'll go, you'll stitch 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6. But as I was going along, I thought, you know what, I want to make this as straightforward, easy as possible. So I decided to leave the trunk out on this one. And we're going to applique the trunk later, but it's totally up to you. Okay, so now, this is really important, you guys. Do you see how there's a dotted line going around this entire block? That is my 1/4 inch seam allowance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this on the dotted line. It's the outside line. Okay, no worries, Kathy. I know sometimes seeing a visual of what we're making is a little bit easier. You're going to see it here in a few minutes, and you can always go back to this and refer to it later, okay? And yeah, I am just as disappointed that our technology did not work tonight, so that we could get some better angles of this too. Okay, I'm going to turn this around, and in fact, maybe we should do a follow-up class.
Well, I was wondering if we just recorded
We
one
could,
and sent it out.
in
too.
fact, we could also do a new recording of this as well. So we'll figure out something to make this better. Okay, and then we're going to turn this around. Okay, there we go. And just like that, my triangle tree is complete. Woohoo! Yay, yay, yay! What do you guys think? Isn't that fun? Now, the reason why I love paper piecing so much is because it is absolutely precise. It is very, very difficult to be able to get this kind of precision without the paper piecing. Look at those points. They're absolutely
Your corners
perfect.
are perfect.
The corners are perfect. So we have, so with this one, what you're going to do is you're going to make 4 of these. So we're making 5 of the pinwheel blocks and 4 of the tree blocks. Okay, so the question would be, how do you add your trunks? Well, I'm going to take, I didn't give you, I didn't want to say have 6 fat quarters for yours because the trunks take up so little fabric. So that's why I thought, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's do this a different way. Use your scraps from your stash. You can use brown felt. You could, on my Christmas one, I actually used brown glitter. You could use brown fabric and just
show them, but that would give it
do
away.
that. Yeah, I can't show you that one yet. But what I'm going to do here is I'm using the Kimberbell brown, I think she calls this gingerbread.
Yes.
If I remember correctly. This is the gingerbread brown. And I'm going to use this for my trunks of the tree. Okay? And I'm going to applique this on top. Now, those of you who are in the club, if you remember, not too long ago, we had done a pumpkin exchange, right? And do you remember how we pieced the pumpkin, but at the top we had a little applique stem. This is kind of like it, but it's opposite. We've pieced the tree, and down below, we're going to have a little applique trunk. And the size of that trunk is also, we have a template in the pattern that you're going to be receiving, but I'm going to go ahead and just cut this out right now. And it is going to be a 1 inch by 3/4 inch trunk. So I'm going to cut 1 inch this way, set that aside. And you only need 4 of them. Do you see why I didn't want to say, well, you're going to need a fat quarter for this? Because that would just, that just would be crazy, right? So these are just small little pieces here. So it might even be fun to go through your stash. I mean, who says you can't have a purple trunk? Who says it can't be a bright red trunk? You know, it's totally fine. You guys can choose.
Well, in the spirit of Christmas,
In
you
the
can think
spirit of
about Charlie
Christmas.
Brown. I mean, all those aluminum trees.
All the aluminum trees. A silver bucket would be cute. That's a fun idea. You could hand stitch this. You could machine embroider a trunk, whatever you'd like. But do you see here that with my trunk, just like I did with the pumpkin last month, I have it going over top of the tree. I just think it kind of gives a little bit more of a fun and whimsical look. Okay?
And it adds dimension to this block like you have in the pinwheel.
Exactly. That's a great point, Nicole. So the other thing to also note is when you put your trunk on, you want to make sure that you have left a 1/4 inch seam allowance down here. Okay? So in order to put the trunk on, I'm just going to use the little bit of glue, just like I did last time. Just a titch. Whoops. And I'm going to glue it in place. Again, it's just going into the tree. And now I'll take it to the sewing machine and I'm just going to do a straight stitch all the way around. I'm not even going to change my thread color. I'm going to keep it with white. And I actually, you know what I'm going to also do? I'm going to bump my stitch length up to normal, which on my machine is a 2.5. Okay. So I'm going to take it very slow. My needle is down. I'll pivot. Needle down, pivot. Needle down and pivot. Do a little back stitch. There we go. Done. See how simple that was? Easy peasy, right? And that's what it looks like. How fun. So do you see all the little snow flurries there? Okay, so let's head back here. You may be wondering, when do you remove the paper? Great question. How about right now? Let's do it. When removing paper, you want to be careful. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll put my thumb on there and then pull on the paper. Again, just making sure that we're not popping stitches, right? Again, that's the reason why earlier we shortened our stitch length. So have fun tearing that off. I like to say, if you've been in my paper piecing classes before, it's like tearing a sunburn. Peeling a sunburn. I know, that's a lovely, lovely thought, right? Oh my goodness, but it's true. It's kind of like, ooh, there's another little piece. Oh. All right, there we go. There we go. See, that wasn't hard, right? Sometimes if a little piece of paper gets stuck, you can take a little pair of tweezers or something and be able to get that. But look how cute that block is, you guys. Woohoo!
Ripping off the
We
Band-Aid.
got this. Yep, ripping off the Band-Aid. That's right. All right. Let's see. Yeah, if you are just joining us for the first time because you didn't know about our class tonight, this is a free class and you can still sign up for it. What? Oh, Carolise, not as bad as Carolise's turkey story. Yes, that is true. That is true. True story there. But you can sign up for this class and get the free pattern just for signing up, and that pattern will be going out later this evening. Okay, so there's the block. We're going to make 4 of them. So we're going to make 4 of those puppies, and we're going to make 5 of... Where's that snowflake again? It's hiding from us. Oh, sheesh. There we go. Okay, you're going to make 5 of these. Do you see how cute this winter theme is going to be? This is a winter theme. Okay.
I used a cork.
Questions?
A cork for the trunk.
I used a cork for the trunk? Oh, that's a fun idea, Fern. I love that. Okay, so yeah, a little piece of cork fabric or, I can't wait to see what you guys use for the trunks. Another thing that I like about doing stuff like this is it gives you more creativity, to try something different, new, unique, whatever. All right.
Melted.
It melted? What melted?
I don't know.
I used cork also? I don't know. Yes, this is going to be a table topper, Lynn. Okay, so 4 of these, 5 of these, and we are almost done. And you're going to almost see the finished project. And I really, really hope you like it. Okay, so the last piece, the clue number 5 was fabric number 5, and that was your border. I told you to find something that tied everything together. Everything together. So, there we go. So this is what I got for mine. Isn't that cute? So this is going to be my border.
Oh, they said your snowflake melted.
My snowflake. Oh, my snowflake. My snowflake melted. There you go. See, they are so good. You guys are so awesome.
I got so lost on that
I
one.
got
I'm like,
lost
what
too.
melted? I know the glue stick did earlier, but
That's right. So this is going to be on there, and my cute little trees are going to be on there. I'm so excited for this. But, and obviously, had I been on Zoom tonight, I probably wouldn't. We would have sewed this together and I would have made all my blocks, but I didn't. So what I want to tell you is that this was, remember this was fabric number 2, this background. You're also, and this was in your cutting instructions, you were also to cut 4 strips that are 1.5 inches long, or 1.5 inches wide, excuse me, by the width of the fat quarter. Whatever you use here is what you're also going to use as your inner border. Okay? Whatever you use here is what you will use for your inner border. So what we'll do is we'll arrange this into a 9 patch. Okay? Into a 9 patch, and you'll see how I did it here in just a minute. I'm keeping you in suspense as long as I can. So you're going to arrange it into a 9 patch. You're going to have snowflake, tree, snowflake, tree, snowflake, tree, and snowflake, tree, snowflake. And then you'll add your inner border. All the instructions are on the pattern, guys. No worries. And then your outer border is going to be 3-inch strips. Now, I had you cut 5. You can get away with 4. Okay, but I wanted to give you an extra one just in case maybe the fat quarter you chose wasn't as sometimes, you know, depending on the manufacturer and the selvage, it can get you off a little bit. So that's why I had you cut 5. But if you can get away with 4, you can probably get away with 4, and that will be your outer border. Okay, and then again, whatever you have left over from that is going to go to the back. If you want to. Obviously, you don't have to do a scrappy back, but I love scrappy backs, and I didn't use one on mine tonight because Lorraine had grabbed some fabric to quilt it with, which is totally fine. So if you just want to choose another fabric for your back, you can, but if you would rather use your scraps, you're going to scrap them together, okay? So do you see how this piece ties all of this in together? I can't wait. I will finish this sometime in the next few days, and then I will take a picture and show all of it to you. But are you guys ready to see the finished masterpiece? I don't know if I want to show it yet.
Cover your eyes. Their eyes are covered.
Okay, let's talk for a minute before I show you. Okay.
Don't do what Jenny did on Comment Sold.
Yeah, that's right. Are there any questions? Do you have any questions about what we have done so far tonight?
This is the mystery table topper class, guys.
Okay. Mystery table topper. So the one that I made is a Christmas theme, and it is called Peppermint Forest. Peppermint Forest. And then if you want to go more winter theme, then that's the one I was making with you tonight. So you ready to see the finished one? Drum roll. Are we ready? Oh my gosh.
I don't think we're ready.
You don't think we're
No.
ready? Okay, here we go. Here it is. I hope you like it. Peppermint Forest. There you have it. Ta-da! Let's put this down here and you can see. Let's get some more up close pictures of this. So you can see the peppermints are coming out. It's like twirling around in the air, right? Peppermint Forest is what it is. And then we've got a tree here, and you can see that I used the glitter right here. I used the brown glitter from Kimberbell. And I love the way Lorraine had quilted it too. So cute. So then we've got another peppermint coming out, another tree. So
I feel like you have to spend some time on the trees because she quilted every one
I know
differently.
every tree is different, and I just love how she quilted them. These are straight lines going across. This one has, angles. This one is straight lines going down. So super fun. And yeah. And how do you love this border? I love this border print. Let's take a look over here, Nicole. So this is just such a pretty gray gingham. And the other fun thing that Lorraine did was she used these as her lines, and she quilted every single one of those cross-hatched lines. Isn't that adorable? Look at how it looks on the back. Let's pull that up. You see that? Yeah, that's a lot of really cool quilting in there, isn't it? Yes, we will put a picture of it on the website. We will use it. It'll be found in your pattern as well. And then we've got more of this. So again, it's just a 9 patch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, another thing that you could do, you'll see that maybe you don't want this as a table topper. This could be a really cute wall hanging too. Let's take a look at what it looks like right here. Now, I haven't bound it yet. I still got to do that. But do you see how cute that is on the wall? So it doesn't have to be a
Could be
table
the
topper.
top of an advent calendar.
Could be the top of an advent calendar. Absolutely. Okay. The other thing that you could do, and I think that I'm going to try this with the winter one, is I'm going to turn the trees so that this tree goes this way, this one will go this way, this one will go this way, and this one will go this way, and then, or opposite, this one goes here, this one, that points in that direction. And what you will create, have fun with your 9 patch, because if you do that, what you'll also create is a star. And that's what I was hoping to do tonight. But it didn't happen, was that I was going to create a star by having these go towards the middle. Then if you use it as a table topper,
Somebody said a pillow.
no matter what, everyone would see a part of the tree. Okay, somebody suggested making it into a pillow. Absolutely. It would be a big pillow, but it would be so cute. This ends up being about 20 inches square. So if you had a 20-inch pillow form, that would be perfect.
That closer because they were asking how Lorraine quilted it.
Oh, the way Lorraine quilted it. Now, remember, your quilter, she's either going to love you or hate you, right? Because you've got these big, bulky centers. But no big deal. They just have to flip it up a little bit. And what Lorraine did was she just did a straight line going from the center of the pinwheel to the outer corner. And you can see the same thing here and here and here. So pretty simple on the design here because you've got, such dimension in these pinwheels. The finish size it's between 19 and 20. Let me double check. Let's see. 19 inches. It is 19 inches square. Okay, 19 by 19. So do you see also how my inner border is the same as what this, the background of my pinwheel was. Okay, so for my winter one, the background is going to be this, so my inner border will be that. Now, I love the snowflakes, but you know what? By golly, that would be super cute too. I just love this fabric so much. So, I don't know. I think I'll stick with the snowflakes just for the theme, but I just love that. Now, we've had some people also ask if we would sell kits on this. So, if you are interested in this exact one, we can certainly put a kit together for you, and I will have it up tomorrow by the time we do 3 themes at 3. So, if you want a Christmas-themed kit, we'll have those. We'll also have it in the email. We'll have links in the email for all of these things that we talked about tonight. And we will also put together a kit for the winter themed. So if that's something you're interested in, keep watching for details on that from our website. We'll put that information on Facebook. Yeah. Okay.
Instead of just staring at the quilt.
Sorry. So anyway, there we go. There it is. The mystery's been revealed. Oh my goodness. We did it, you guys. It wasn't exactly how I had envisioned, but it's okay. So thank you for jumping over to Facebook and being with us tonight so we could have fun doing this together. Now, I bet a lot of you probably decided, you know what, I'm going to wait on sewing it because we had to go super fast through this tonight. But this recording will be on Facebook forever. So you can go back to it and refer to it as often as you'd like. I think I will also do maybe some segments, maybe some shorter segments on how the three-dimensional pinwheels go together as well as the tree block so that everyone, you know, can learn how to do this and have fun with it. So, any other questions? That's all for tonight.
Helen, good
I
job.
hope you enjoyed it, and as crazy as it was, 5 fat quarters is all it takes, and you'll be able to do your backing as well. Or you might choose another fabric for your backing and maybe consider doing a scrappy binding with your leftovers as well. That's always fun too. So lots of different things to think about. Okay? What other questions do we have?
Just lots of thank yous.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. I hope you will join us tomorrow. For those of you who might be brand new to my Girlfriend's Quilt Shop, every single day, Monday through Friday, we have what's called 3 Themes at 3, and it's at 3 o'clock Mountain Time. So that is, let's see, 1 o'clock Alaska, 2 o'clock Pacific, 3 o'clock Mountain, 4 o'clock Central, and 5 o'clock Eastern. I got this down pat, right? And we do, it's just kind of a fun, very casual thing that we do. Theme number 1 is something to make you laugh or something to make you smile. We spend a few minutes on those kinds of things because heavens knows we need more of that in our life right now. A lot more laughter, right? Theme number 2 is we give you a daily how-to demonstration, some kind of demo on how to do something. This week we're focusing all on advent calendars, and you get a free pattern just for showing up and listening in. And then theme number 3 is a daily deal. Now, let's say you're working during the day or you forget that 3 at 3 is on. Our patterns that we do, whenever we do patterns, they're not every single day we do, although this week we are every day doing a free advent calendar. Those patterns are available for 24 hours, so for free for you, and you can always go back and watch earlier episodes of 3 Themes at 3. So don't worry if you're not able to make it live, okay? Again, we also have a full array of classes on our website, so many classes, and that was my hope tonight, was to be able to give to so many of you a peek at what taking an online class is like. And sadly, it didn't work for us tonight with our Zoom account. So I don't know, we're going to try and figure out what happened. But normally what we have is we have a great little setup. In fact, why don't we show them? It's kind of messy right now, but let's show them what this looks like. If you look around here, we have lots of
we have
lighting. We have a boom mic. We have 4 different camera angles. We have the pressing
and my
station.
favorite one. We have the ceiling one.
Yeah. And it's full-on setup to be able to give you as good of an experience as possible for taking online classes. Sadly, it's just, well, sadly and at the same time, thankfully and gratefully, we're able to give these classes to you no matter what part of the country you live in. And so while many of those of you who live locally have missed the in-person class, which certainly I have missed as well, I'm so grateful that we are able to still do classes and still have fun together with friends from all over the country, in fact, even in the world. And so we hope you'll join us for some of those.
And now you get to sew in your pajamas.
And now you can sew in your pajamas, and it does. If you need a bathroom break, you can go do that. You can, you know, it's wonderful. You don't have to haul your machine out with you to class, especially during the winter time.
And up the stairs.
And up the stairs, yep. you don't have to do that, you know. So it really is nice to be able to take classes. We have Kimberville events, all sorts of fun things going on online, and we hope you'll join us for those things. We put a lot of work and effort into those, and we'd love to see you. So you can check out all of our online classes by going to mygirlfriendsquiltshop.com. Type in online class and you'll see all of them pop up. The great thing is that they are all recorded, so you can go back and watch at any time when it's convenient for you. And even classes that have been passed, you can still pay for those classes and still watch them. So, and the classes are very affordable as well. So, anything else?
Well, they're telling us thank you and good job. And
Okay.
thanks you guys for telling me thank you too, because we've certainly been on a learning curve.
I don't
But
know
I
what
think
happened tonight, but we made it work.
2020 has been a learning curve for everyone.
That's right. Thanks everyone for being with us tonight. We sure appreciate it, and I hope to see you again very soon. Good night.